Welcome to another episode of the David Goad Show. It's the show all about speaking and communication in business. And today we're going to talk about the value of stories in business presentations. I get asked this in coaching sessions all the time. How much of a story? What kind of stories can I tell? Can I use humor, emotion? And I thought, I'm going to bring on an expert. That's right. Renaissance man, speaker, author, storyteller, guitarist, IT professional. What else have you done, David Hollingsworth? Welcome to the show.
Great. It's great to be here, David. I am happy to be here on the David Goad Show and look forward to talking with you about storytelling.
Well, and it popped up in my head that you were a storyteller because I heard your book was coming out, and I'm going to ask you up front to do the commercial. Show me that book. It's coming out this fall, and I'll put a link down below for people to order it.
Great. The book is called Get Out the Door. It's going to be appearing soon at an Amazon website near you.
All right, and this book is full of great stories. I have personal knowledge of that. But David, let's talk about now, I mentioned career IT executive because you and I have both been in the tech industry for a long time. Sat through a lot of presentations, delivered a lot of presentations. Can you tell me the value of a story in a business presentation?
Absolutely. I think stories are essential in business because a lot of times we have to sit through boring detail data where you don't have a sense of the real value that's being presented. So telling stories is a way for you to connect to the audience, to bring them along with you, and to get them to go in a direction that is beneficial for them.
Okay, now I know stories can't go on and on too long, right? Because people in business sometimes it's like, hey, we have a short amount of time. Why are you wasting my time with a story? But can you talk about, maybe give me an example of something you experienced where you think a story made a big difference?
Sure. I think that if you can show a common bond with your customer, whether it's an achievement or a mistake or something that allows them to be empathetic with you, you can connect a personal story to their business problem.
So we're in the middle of all this data and you suddenly what? You stop and tell a story? I mean, how does that work?
Well, you have to know where the right place to put a story in, but to compare a personal situation or challenge that you've had with a challenge that they've had allows them to tie those two situations together and connect that to the problem that you're trying to solve.
Okay. Now, I know I've heard, here's a mistake I think people make sometimes is they don't necessarily do that connection, right? They leave the audience hanging with what just happened, right?
Right. I think that you have to give the audience a way out of the problem that they're facing. Whether you're telling a personal story or talking about the business solution you're trying to bring them towards, is you have to give the audience a way out so that they're not faced with just the challenge that you've had or that they're facing. You show them, here's the opportunity that's now in front of them. And if you can connect the problem to the solution, they will come right along with you.
I like that. Otherwise, it's just, oh, everything's horrible and the world sucks. Thanks a lot, dude. Thanks for bringing me down.
That's why this isn't the news. This is a story.
All right. Well, what are the critical plot points then? Or what are the essential elements of a story?
Well, in any story, you have to show where the customer is now or where you are now or at the start of the story, the challenge that's in front of them, the journey along that path, the final crisis or challenge they have to face, and then how things have changed at the end. And if those plot points sound familiar, that's exactly the plot points for the first Star Wars movie. And even if you're not taking people along some big galactic journey, you have to show the journey that they go along and how things can change for them.
Interesting. Yeah. Who is the likable hero in the story? That's something to think about. And sometimes you don't want to make yourself the likable hero. It's often better that you witness somebody else doing that, just from a humility standpoint, not coming across as too egotistical or arrogant in your story, right?
No, you have to show the audience an empathetic character. So sometimes you put the bigger part of the story on the mentor or the person who comes in and shows them the way, or another person who's been transformed by that journey. So don't make yourself the hero, even if you are the protagonist in the story. Is give those good pieces to another character in the story so that they can be the one to shine, and you show the struggle you went through and the transformation that you overcame.
I like it. A likable hero overcomes obstacles with the help of a mentor or solution and becomes transformed. And that mentor or solution is often your product, and that's where you put it in the story.
Correct.
Great stuff, David. Okay, we got so much to talk about and so little time, so I'm going to have to invite you back on the show.
Sure.
But before we leave, something else I read in one of your blog posts is you brought back an 8th grade spelling bee where I happened to come out victorious. And so I'm going to give you a rematch right now, a 30-second rematch here in the David Goad Show. I'm giving you a word to spell. You give me one to spell. Let's see who comes out. Here's your word. Are you ready?
Sure.
Obsequious.
Obsequious. OBSEQUIEOUS.
Oh, I'm sorry you added in there. So, you know what? I'm gonna let you redeem yourself on the next show. Okay.
Okay.
On a rematch.
My spelling has not improved.
You're just trying to help me out. You just want to feed my ego now. David, thank you so much for being on the show, man. I can't wait to get your book. Thank you for the tips on storytelling in business. And thanks to all of you for watching the David Goad Show. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.